Hi, my name is Roma Butt, Director of Therapy Services at Legacy Community Health, and for today's Mental Health Mondays, I'm going to be talking to you about what to do when your kids misbehave. We're going to be talking about the 5 R's of consequences or discipline, and this comes from founder Amy McCready of Positive Parenting Solutions. So let's get started. The first R of consequences is that they're respectful. So that means no blame, no shame, and no pain. We want to make sure that we're not inflicting harm on our children when we're asking them to behave better, but that we're giving them guidance through the consequence so that they can make better choices going forward. The next R is that it's related to the misbehavior. So whatever consequence you're giving your child needs to make sense for them. So if they haven't eaten their vegetables, then they don't get dessert. Or if they don't turn off the television when you ask them to, then they lose privileges of watching television for the day. Things ought to make sense so kids can anticipate what happens when they don't listen. The third R of consequences is that they're reasonable in duration. The last thing we want to do is set a consequence when we're angry. Oftentimes it will be far too long and nobody will be able to stick with it. So set reasonable expectations. So for toddlers, you want to do maybe 3 minutes of timeout if they're 3 years old, 4 minutes if they're 4-year-old. But for adolescents and teens, we can maybe remove screen time. So screen time includes televisions, electronic devices, or computers. Perhaps they lose that for a day or even up to a week, depending on what they've done. The fourth R of consequences is that they're revealed in advance. The key to making sure somebody follows a rule is to know what the rule is to begin with. So we want to get with our kids, sit down as a family, and talk about the expectations of your home. And things like making good grades, trying their very best in school, keeping their room picked up, and not arguing with the parent are all reasonable expectations. But kids also need to know what happens when I don't listen or follow the rules. So reveal them in advance. Another R of consequences is that they're repeated back to you. If we want to make sure kids know what we expect of them, have them say it back to you, that I understand you need me to do this or that will happen. That's a great way to make sure that they were listening, not just hearing the words coming out of their parents' mouth. The reality is kids misbehave. I mean, that's how they learn. That's how they know what they need to do the next time. So if we can accept that reality, then it's less of a reaction we have when they do that, and we can handle it based on the rules that have already been established in the home. So keep in mind that kids need power and control. So when they know what they need to do and what's going to happen, they can own it if they have a consequence that they have to face. The most important thing, and this is a big tip, is to make sure you're giving your children positive attention, praising them when they're being good, and catching them. If you catch your child being good and you give them positive affirmations, that helps them feel valued, loved, accepted, and significant. And that is the key to a child wanting to behave better when they have those positive feelings. Keep in mind, if you're feeling like your child is misbehaving and you're not managing it well and you need additional help, don't be afraid to seek professional services. Thanks for watching.